Think about the last time you were truly alone. Not just in a room, but isolated, cut off. Maybe on a long drive at night, the only car on a road that seems to stretch into infinite blackness. That's where our story begins. It's 1996. A young woman is driving that exact road through the vast, empty forests of upstate New York. Her name is Mary. She's tired. She just wants to get home. She's been driving for hours. The radio signal died miles back. It's just her thoughts, and the tunnel of darkness her headlights carve out. She rounds a bend, and her high beams sweep across something on the shoulder. A figure. She slows down. It's a young man. He's waving his arms, frantic. He looks terrified. And he's covered in what looks like mud, or something darker. Now you have to understand the rule. The rule we're all taught. Never pick up a stranger on a deserted road. It's one of the most basic rules of safety. But another rule kicks in. What if someone is genuinely in trouble? What if it's you one day, stranded and desperate? Her compassion overrides her fear. She pulls over. The man yanks the passenger door open and practically falls into the seat. He's hyperventilating. He can't speak. He just points back down the road, into the impenetrable darkness, his hand shaking uncontrollably. "Please," he finally gasps, "just drive. Go, now." Mary doesn't ask questions. She floors it. The car accelerates. For 5 minutes, the only sound is the roaring engine and the man's ragged breathing. He's staring into the side view mirror, watching the road behind them, as if expecting something to be following them. Finally, he starts to calm down. He turns to her. His eyes are wide, shell-shocked. "Thank you," he whispers. You saved my life." "What happened?" Mary asks, her own heart still pounding. The man takes a deep breath. His story tumbles out. He and his friends were camping. A group of 4. They'd been hiking deep into the state forest to a remote spot by a river. They'd built a fire, set up tents. It was a perfect night. Until they heard it. First, it was just a sound in the trees. They wrote it off as an animal, a deer, maybe a bear. But the sounds got closer, and they didn't sound like any animal they knew. It was a dragging, scraping sound. Then a low, guttural whispering that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Then the figures emerged from the tree line. Silhouettes, tall, impossibly thin. They didn't walk. They lurched. Their movements were all wrong, jerky, unnatural. He and his friends froze, paralyzed by a fear they didn't understand. The things didn't speak. They just advanced, and with them came a smell, the overpowering metallic stench of old blood and rotting meat. That's when his friends snapped. They screamed and ran in blind panic, scattering into the woods. He ran too. He didn't look back. He just crashed through branches, thorns tearing at his clothes, until he found the road. He didn't know where his friends were. He didn't know if they were alive. He just ran, and he didn't stop until he saw her headlights. Mary is stunned. She doesn't know what to believe. It sounds insane. But the raw, primal terror on this man's face is the most real thing she has ever seen. It's contagious. Now she's checking her mirror, too. They drive in silence for another mile. The man is still trembling. Then he goes quiet. Too quiet. He slowly turns his head from the window and looks at her. Not at the road ahead, not at the mirror. Directly at her. His expression has completely changed. The terror is gone, replaced by a calm, cold, and eerily knowing smile. His voice is different now, flat, devoid of the panic from before. "You know," he says, his eyes locked on hers, "it's a good thing you stopped." Mary feels a chill that has nothing to do with the night air. Her grip tightens on the steering wheel. Why is that?" she asks, trying to keep her voice steady. The man's smile widens. It doesn't touch his eyes. "Because," he says softly, almost a whisper, They do so love it when we bring them new friends. The car engine sound cuts out abruptly. Dead silence for 2 full seconds. Mary's blood runs cold. She looks over at him. He is no longer looking at her. He is staring intently out the windshield, pointing at a dim yellow light up ahead. A lone roadside diner, a beacon in the darkness. "You can let me out here," he says, his voice now perfectly normal. Pleasant, even. She doesn't argue. She pulls into the gravel parking lot. The diner looks empty, but the lights are on. The man opens the door and steps out. He leans back in, that same placid, horrifying smile on his face. "Thanks for the ride." He slams the door shut. Mary watches, frozen, as he doesn't walk towards the diner. Instead, he turns and walks straight.